of Jack Squirrel for multiple grass fires on the side of the road. Per Battalion 1, timeout 1434.
Tanker 1, County will be en route.
Here's Tanker 1, 1434.
Welcome back. In Part 1 of our communications review, we covered basic radio capabilities and repeater operation, followed by Chief Jennings' discussion on primary and tactical channel use and the importance of turning off the scan feature while on any fire response. Here in Part 2, we'll touch on radio procedures, but we'll primarily focus on the first on-scene SIZEUP reporting we all need to participate in, and how it sets the stage for the entire response, and review the information included in that initial radio report for structure fires, wildland fires, and motor vehicle accidents, with further discussion by Chief Jennings. Fire alarms are always unique, each with their own set of circumstances, needs, and required response. What needs to be consistent is our communications procedures and steps to evaluate each incident by the first arriving, and communicate what you see by radio to inbound resources and command officers. After the SO or dispatch makes the initial alarm page, the responder should, if possible, indicate en route to station via the IAR or I Am Responding app. Then reporting via radio when leaving the station. SO Brush 51 en route, for example. This advises everyone via the repeater that an asset is on the way. Upon arrival at the incident, a second call to the SO dispatch should be made. SO, Brush 51 on scene, for example. Then immediately change to TAC 2 frequency and report into command for assignment. In some instances, you may be redirected to report into command on a different channel, like TAC 3, 4, or V-Fire channel. While working, you should remain on the assigned channel, with scan turned off, until released or reassigned by command. Once the incident is over, and all assets are released and headed back to their respective stations, command will report to dispatch something similar to all fire units clear and available. After this, no reporting calls to the SO of individual units clear or back at station, etc. are needed. Command has the last word at each incident. And now on to SIZEUP reporting with perspective from Chief Jennings.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about on-scene reporting and how important it is to get a scene size up from everybody. And I'll just kind of go over the scene report itself the way it should be done. But we've got these fancy little cards here, and they kind of give you a rundown and give you an idea of what you should be doing, but you should confirm the address always. That's number one, because when you're dispatched to something, sometimes they may tell you it's at 111 South 3rd Street, but the actual call might be at 115 South 3rd Street. That's just where the caller was when they called it in. The next important thing is relating to structure fires, so sorry. But number of floors. We need to know if it's a 2-story house or if it's a commercial building that's multiple stories. We do have a few of those here. The occupancy type. So the type of occupancy is whether it's commercial or residential, or you just got a shed or an outbuilding on fire. The conditions you find when you're there, and the conditions that you find need to be brief, but they need to kind of paint a picture of what you got going on. Whether it's smoke showing from the alpha side or smoke showing from the smoke and fire from the delta side, you need to kind of know that. And then water supply. Water supply is important because you need to know, do you need water right now, or do I need the next truck in to bring me water, or is this truck going to be able to handle it with just what I've got on my tank? And then what kind of attack are you going to do? Are you going to go offensive or defensive attack, or is it just an investigation because you don't see anything when you pull up? And then establishing command. So somebody always has to establish command, and that's that's very important that we establish command every time. And same thing with an auto accident, for instance. You're going to confirm the address or the location, because a lot of times we don't necessarily have an address. It might be an intersection, or it's in a, you know, X amount of miles away from an intersection or something. And then the number of vehicles. We want to talk about, we want to know how many vehicles we have, and then what type of vehicles we have, and then the condition you find when you pull up, and then establishing command also there. A lot of people want to throw the number of patients in there, just like they would on a structure fire. If there's occupancy, there's people still inside the occupancy, but that doesn't come into play until you start making your 360. You get out of the truck and you start looking around and start seeing what's going on. All this is very important, and it's not just important for the first person that pulls up on the scene, who is incident command. It's important for the incident commander to know the next truck that pulls up, to what the picture looks like when they pull up. So if anything has changed between there, I guess we could talk about wildland fires too, and then how SIZEUP is a little bit different on a wildland fire, because it might be a little bit longer. But you know, the first most important thing, you do want to confirm the address, and then you want to confirm the type of fuel you have, and how many acres are burning, whether it's under an acre or more than an acre, and wind speed, wind direction, that you can note when you pull up, and then you know, number of, well, I guess if you're direct or indirect attack, and or the amount of water you're going to need, whether you're going to need two tankers or 3 tankers, and the number of trucks you think you might need to take care of this. And then make sure you're establishing command. Yeah, and it's very important to have all this information, because then you know what extra you might need, or what extra, or what it's expected of you when you get there. You may not have an assignment when you get there per se, but you know that, hey, they already said this needs to be taken care of, or this is it's moving towards this, or this is going on, and you know in your mind, it prepares you, I guess you could say. It's preparing you for what you've got to get off the truck and do when you get there. The more information, the better too. I guess you could say that. I mean, yes, you don't want to be long-winded on the radio and drawing up a whole lot of radio time, but if you've got important things to tell that are very important, that are critical to the scene, that's important, that we need to. You may have to drag it out just a little bit longer than you want to. When you're on the radio and you're using the radio to talk to dispatch, when you check on scene, a lot of times if you just check on scene, they're gonna come back. So then your scene SIZEUP may not be heard because the dispatcher walked on you. So it may be good to check on scene, let the dispatcher respond back, and then come back with your scene SIZEUP sometimes, just to save that traffic of being walked over and not everybody hearing what you're putting out there. When you come to, for instance, like a grass fire, for instance, or just wildland in general, the number of structures threatened is important, and then that are threatened currently and that could be threatened in that direction. So, and that all makes resources easier to get, or whether we need more resources, or it's all questions too that are going to be asked when we call for mutual aid from somebody. So. Battalion 1's going to be on scene. Single-story wood frame structure with smoke showing from the Charlie side. Battalion 1's going to have Church Street command. First in unit's going to pull a line to the front door.
Brush 1 County.
Go ahead, Brush 1.
Brush 1 will be on scene. Got approximate 3-acre grass fire, heavy fuels, moving pretty quick. I'm gonna go ahead and get me some more trucks and let's go ahead and get some water supply. Brush 1 will establish establishing command.
Battalion 1, you want us to come to you? No, y'all stay with the first fire. Or y'all, if y'all are right behind me, just bump up here and help me out right here. I think we can catch this one, and I'm going to go a little further down.
Thank you for your time and attention today, and as always, stay safe.